Coming up on this episode of NPS Now, the governor makes a special announcement at NTC, students enjoy a top-notch college and career fair, and high school freshmen are given some life-saving information. All that and more next on NPS Now. Hello and welcome to NPS Now, your source for news and information about Norfolk Public Schools. I'm your host, Karen Tanner. The new year got off to a great start as Governor Terry McAuliffe paid a special visit to one of our schools. Amanda Verrata has the story.
Warm welcomes were bestowed upon Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe as he stopped by Norfolk Technical Center to announce his upcoming education legislation. During his speech, the governor discussed everything from SOL reform and increasing pre-K attendance to ensuring more training for school boards and principals in challenged districts throughout the state.
You know, the governor is all about the new Virginia economy and how do we help build the workforce for it. And we're really here in Norfolk today to talk about what we're doing from cradle to career. So we're talking about pre-K, we're talking about technical education and everything in between. How do we help young people get ready to be successful contributing members of the new Virginia economy?
We do have a plan that has a keen interest and emphasis on early learning, as well as we're in pretty deep conversation in terms of planning with committees and partnering with the city and partnering with the business community to talk about a college and career academy, as well as the early learning piece, which is all of the thing which touches everything that he said.
Well, I thought he addressed very critical issues that needed to be addressed for the success of the children of the Commonwealth of Virginia, but certainly of the city of Norfolk. The issues dealing with early childhood education, critically important, and the accountability reform as well, taking progress into consideration of our struggling schools. And so I think he really emphasized very critical issues, and I'm encouraged.
During his visit to NTC, Governor McAuliffe and his wife took the time to visit a pre-K class, which is also used as a training ground for NTC students interested in early childhood education. Ironically, this class bridges the gap of what the governor hopes to accomplish with his new education legislation, providing top-notch opportunities for students from cradle to career and everything in between.
All of the folks in this room, we are partners in the fight to safeguard our daycare facilities, to increase pre-K access, to expand our nutritional options, to reform our SOLs, and to improve our most challenged schools and develop a 21st century workforce.
Just 1 week after the governor's visit, Norfolk Technical Center held its annual College and Career Fair. This year's event brought in representatives from over 50 colleges, universities, trade schools, and businesses who were all eager to talk with students.
Well, this is what we do here. We're trying to get kids college and career ready for Norfolk Public Schools, and to have it here where everyone can participate, you know, they have similar programs at some of the colleges around the area, but then the students have a hard time getting to those locations. So it's right here, it's convenient, and they can take advantage of it.
It's been going great. It's good to see that the students are interested in postgraduate work and careers, and a lot of great questions about academic programs and positions that are available. So it's really inspiring to see that students are already thinking about what they're doing after high school.
I am visiting here at the career fair, just weighing my options, talking to a couple different people about different career paths that I may take. I'm glad they did it. I was able to get a lot of information, and I think it's great.
Just before the holiday break, 2 Larry Moore Elementary students, kindergartner Connor and second grader Hunter, received an early Christmas present when their father, who had been deployed for more than a year, surprised them at their school.
They'd always expressed when they call me and I get to talk to them that they'd see the different parents and they surprising their kids and things, and they wanted, like, that'd be awesome, that'd be great. And they said this weeks ago, months ago, not thinking that I would be coming home soon. Pretty excited, you know, to get that initial shock of seeing me, and then okay, I got to get up and hug him. So, and it catches up where he's got to come to me. So it's awesome.
Freshmen from around the district recently received information and tips on how to prevent bullying and recognize signs of depression and suicide. The special assembly was designed to help young people gain awareness about suicide prevention and ultimately save lives.
I'm a former teacher and school administrator, so this is sort of near and dear to me. And as a former statewide suicide prevention manager, I realize what a tragic occurrence suicide is. So as I am semi-retired, I try to do all that I can to prevent suicide wherever I can have the opportunity to speak to people.
I lost my 21-year-old son to suicide, and it's just my mission. And I'm an educator, and I thought if I can educate other young people about depression and suicide, no mother, parent, loved one will be standing where I am. There's so much shame and stigma associated around depression, and I hope they realize also if that affects them or someone they care about, their friend, that they know that they've got to get a trusted adult involved. This is not a secret that you keep.
Members of the Norfolk State baseball team and Norfolk's Director of Parks and Recreation kicked off a new reading initiative called Hitting the Books at Chesterfield Academy. These special guests read 3 books to all grade levels and then answered questions from the students. They will be traveling to other schools in the district in an effort to get young people more interested in reading.
Students hear their teachers every day, it's important. Sometimes the message gets lost, so having actual athletes and people in the workforce to tell that, reading books and understanding what they're reading is important, not only for fun, but for everyday life. It's just another message being driven home by somebody other than their classroom teachers.
It's just the basis of all things we do as adults, and reading kind of builds on itself. The more proficient that you are in reading in some of these academic subjects, the better off I feel like they will be.
The Norfolk Council of PTAs held a joint meeting with the school board at Ruffner Academy. Over 100 parents, students, and administrators were on hand to discuss what the PTA is about and how it can help our schools and children.
Well, as a school board member, one of the things I've learned is, family engagement is professional work. I mean, there's a science to it, and so part of what the research is showing us is there's a return on investment. So you see returns in terms of student achievement. You see returns as far as achievement gaps being closed. We see returns in terms of just how parents feel about being involved in the school or having the school involved in the home. So I just think trying to grow this family engagement is where we need to start with Norfolk Public Schools, and I'm just excited about the turnout tonight and all the great work that the Norfolk Council of PTA continues to do.
3 breakout sessions gave those in attendance a chance to say what was on their minds about growing family engagement in Norfolk Public Schools. In the 3rd segment of our show, we'll have an in-depth conversation with Norfolk Council PTA President Dee Bailey and School Board Member Rodney Jordan about the Norfolk Council of PTAs. The 7th Annual Service Academy and ROTC Information Day will be held on Saturday, February 14th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Norview High School. The event is open to 8th through 11th grade students who are interested in pursuing an appointment to one of the nation's service academies or obtaining a NROTC or ROTC scholarship. The School Board of the City of Norfolk will hold a work session on Wednesday, February 4th at 1 p.m. on the 12th floor of the School Administration Building. The session will be aired live on Channel 47 and the NPS website. The date and time are subject to change. If you have any great story ideas or events happening at your school, please be sure to contact us at npsnews@npsk12.com. Coming up next, NPS Sports. Stay tuned.
So you didn't just stop to talk because you're so moody or because you have some weird political affiliation?
Nope. Straight down the ticket Republican. Straight down the ticket Democrat. Can I tell you something about politics? I like to think of myself as a citizen of the universe. I'm unaffiliated.
That's a relief, so am I.
I built my beliefs.
Labels are not important.
Labels are not important, exactly. I mean, so what if I got a 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 at college? And so what if I'm from Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Westchester County? Sure.
Welcome back to NPS Now. I'm Steve Setmiller, Senior Coordinator of Athletics. Today, we're going to change gears a little bit and talk about the activities that the Virginia High School League has to offer our students. And in the studio today, we have Courtney Coleman from Norview High School and Kristen Boone from Norview High School. Welcome.
Thank you.
You are the one-act play coach, yes. But the Virginia High School League has several activities that students can participate in if they're not in athletics. For example, debate, scholastic bowl, forensics, and then the one-act play. So they all have competitions, which is pretty unique. So there is that aspect of sport there for me. So let's talk a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about Courtney.
Oh, this is my fourth year here at Norview, and my third year as coach for the One Act Play Festival. I was lucky enough to be introduced to this role from the former coach who I had gone to high school with at a theater magnet school. So when he decided to pass on the baton, I was lucky enough to use what little experience I had from high school and bring it to these kids.
So exactly what is one-act play? Tell us.
A one-act play is essentially just a play where the characterization and plot line can be completely played out within about 30 minutes. 30 minutes is the VHSL cutoff time. So it's just a short get in, get the audience's attention, make it work, and get out.
Okay. Kristen, you're a student at Norview High School. What grade are you in?
I am a junior.
Okay. Now, how did you get involved in the one-act play program?
Well, last year I was lucky enough to come across the posters that were around, and I actually almost didn't join. I was so nervous about it all, but I ended up showing up one day and with about 100 other people to audition for a part, and I was lucky enough to be chosen by her.
All right, so, I mean, you saw the posters around the announcements. What exactly, why did you get involved? What do you like about being part of the one-act play program?
I've always been drawn to anything theatrical. I've loved theater. I've always watched theater and drama and anything I can get my hands on. I grew up loving it, and so actually being able to have it, which did our school even have?
We don't have a drama program. Okay. We don't have a drama teacher, so this is the first time that we really had a drama club for the kids to get part of.
Okay, let's get back to one-act play, the competition. It's kind of new for, probably for our viewers, but talk about the scoring. How's it judged? How were you the winner? And one thing in Norfolk we're pretty proud of, in Conference 17, Region 4, Booker T won it. In Conference 1, Region 6, Granby's the champion. And then Norview, Conference 9, Region 5 is the champion. So obviously we know what's going on in Norfolk.
It's pretty amazing because the last time we were all part of the same conference before the new split, Booker T came in first, Granby came in second, and we came in third. So it's actually exciting, that we're broken up now. Basically, all these schools get together. We had 7 in our conference this year, and they asked judges who were involved in local theater. I think this year we had a couple from William & Mary. I think there was one from Regent University to come, and they're looking at the students. They don't look at sets, they don't look at costumes. It's nice to have, but they're looking for how do the students relate to each other? How do they understand the material? How does the direction help them? So they're really breaking it down to the basics of theater. Do these kids get it, and are they putting it forth to the audience? So that if you are ranked superior by these judges, that you're really acting well, you're really getting the material. And so they did an amazing job. They did an amazing job, and so our acting was ranked as superior, and the direction was ranked as superior, and so that all together put Norview in first place.
All right, I think we have a short clip of the play, and we're going to take a look at that right now. So we're going to see Kristen in action. Okay.
My name's Bill, by the way.
I'm Betty.
Hi.
Hi.
So, do you come in here a lot?
Actually, I'm just in town for 2 days from Pakistan.
Oh, Pakistan. So do you come in here a lot?
Every once in a while. Do you?
Well, not as much as I used to, before my nervous breakdown. So do you come in here a lot?
Why are you asking?
Just interested.
Are you really interested, or are you just trying to pick me up?
No, I'm really interested.
Why would you be interested in whether I come in here or not?
Just getting acquainted.
Maybe. You're only interested for the sake of making small talk. Long enough to ask me back to your place to listen to some music. Or because you've just rented some great tape for your VCR. Or because you have some terrific unknown Jacob Reinhardt record, when all you'll really want to do is screw, which you won't do very well. After which, you go into the bathroom, pee very loudly, and then proceed to lie back down beside me and confess that you have a girlfriend named Stephanie, who's away at medical school in Belgium for a year, and that you've been involved with her off and on in what you call a very intricate relationship for about 7 years. None of which interests me, mister!
Okay.
We've just watched a little bit about that, of that clip. Talk about that, Kristen. Tell us a little bit about of that play.
Well, we had to, every time the bell rings, it just resets the scene so you can kind of get a second shot at trying to talk to the person. In my case was the actor Zach Ernest, who was just lovely, by the way.
Okay. Well, that was nice that you gave him some love there.
Yeah, he's great.
The play's called Sure Thing by David Ives, and so the concept that they played out is, and it's similar to something we see a lot on Whose Line Is It Anyway with Drew Carey. They do a scene, at some point a bell rings, and they have to redo the last few seconds, changing something slightly. So the idea is these two falling in love.
All right, one more thing, just kind of tie this up. How many team members are on your team, and then what's normal?
Well, it can vary. Honestly, we had the smallest group this year by far because I just tend to like smaller plays, but some of the schools had, between cast and crew, 30 kids. We had a very small cast. We had Kristen and Zach as our actors. We had Simone Brown-Gaskins and Amanda Gaynor, who were our techies, and then Erica Majika and Brandon Parrish as understudies, just in case she trips and breaks a leg on the way. So we kept it very small, which was nice. They got a lot of time to practice and get to know each other.
Well, a lot of interesting information, good information, a lot of good things are going on at the activity level through the Virginia High School League, and our students are doing well, so we appreciate your efforts, appreciate all the work that you put into this. I have one more question before we do go to break. What's next for a student? What's the next level for them?
Well, we go to regionals on the 14th in Mechanicsville, and assuming we place first or second, we will go on to state. And then at the same time, these guys are also rehearsing our next school performance, which will be March 6th and 7th. Okay. So they're actually rehearsing this show and a new one all at the same time. So they're very busy.
Well, good luck with all that.
Thank you.
You're very busy. So.
Yes, thank you very much.
Right. More NPS Now after this.
Welcome to NPS Now. With us today is Rodney Jordan, a school board member, and Dee Bailey, Norfolk Council PTA president. Welcome to NPS Now.
Thank you.
I'm happy to have you all
here. To be here.
Good to finally get you on the show to talk about the council.
Okay, wonderful.
Great to have you. Before we get started though, Dee, I want you to share with everyone what the Norfolk Council PTA is and how you got involved.
The Norfolk Council PTAs, we are pretty much the governing body of all the PTAs in Norfolk. We are a resource for them. We give them stuff that comes from Richmond. We're like the middleman, so they don't have to always go to Richmond to get the information. We provide training to them, so we are their contact, their liaison to the state PTA.
Now, how long have you been on this council board?
I've been on the council board for 8 years, but I've been in the PTA well over 20 years. My kids are grown, and I started out when they started in school, so it's been forever, it seemed like.
What made you stay?
I just love kids, and it's not just about my child, or it's not just about my children. It's just about, you know, children all together, because I think it would be kind of self-centered if I just concentrated on my kids, because the kids now, that's the future.
So you just have a passion?
I just have a passion for children, and anything that I can do to, you know, excel them to the next level, I want to be involved in it.
Great. And great that you are involved, because now the council and the school board had a joint meeting recently. Tell us a little bit about that, Mr. Jordan.
Well, we decided to focus this year on growing family engagement, family involvement in Norfolk Public Schools. And, you know, I had appeared before and talked about some of the work that we were doing on this task force that I'm a part of on schools in challenging environments. And one of the central planks or domains is about family engagement. And so, you know, having the opportunity to serve as the board liaison to the Norfolk Council of PTAs and looking at our strategic plan and some of the initiatives that we've been focused on in terms of parent and family involvement, it just seemed natural that the PTAs, who are the parents, working with the teachers every day in the schools doing the things that they're doing, that it would make sense if the school board and the PTA together really talked about how we could build a culture of family engagement and involvement in Norfolk Public Schools.
And you had a lot of people there, I think over 100 parents.
And what I liked about it, it was more conversational. It didn't seem like it was, you know, big people, little people. Everybody sat down and we just had a conversation. So we kind of tried to bridge the gap to show that the school board is just not that those distant people, you know, that they want to hear our concerns. And we had parents who just, you know, really, really loved the up close and personal conversation.
Right, so what did you plan to accomplish from this meeting?
You want to go first or really go
You
first?
can go first.
So again, you know, this is a first step, because I had a lot of people come up and ask me what's next. So if you're going to build a culture, you know, that takes time, it takes commitment, it takes consistency. So I think this was a first step to begin to bridge, as Dee said, if there was a gap between the board and the PTA or the board and the community, to get us all together and just talk about how we can work together as a team on solutions. You know, we all say that the parents are the child's first teacher, so what can we do to support that? So we had that first meeting. We've already begun to talk about how we can continue it. We'll have the representatives of the board, PTA board, come and share with the school board at a work session. And I just feel like we will continue to look at how we can take all these questions that we addressed and all these comments and begin to prioritize ways and take the ideas and begin to implement them. And I'll say that the other thing that was exciting, we had students there too.
Yes, we did.
And their input was excellent. And so I think one of the things we can do next time is not only have the adults there, but maybe do something where we have more of the young people there, and maybe we'll let the young people run the meeting, and as adults we can sit back and listen and engage.
Because some of the feedback, you did have some students there, and they were saying from the discussions in the 3 different breakout sessions, they were saying we needed a student advisory council. They wanted to be involved. When you two, you know, you had the board members and the PTA folks kind of facilitating the discussions in the 3 breakout rooms, what were some of the things that you heard going on in some of the sessions?
The session that I liked the most was the one where the principal and the PTA you know, get together, because I think that is a really good component to a strong PTA. When you have the principal involved, when you have the principal vested in the PTA, it just shows a good partnership. And when we spotlighted a school, and they just talked about how the principal was just so engaged in the PTA, and that's what the parents want to. They want to see the school and the parents working together, and they just highlighted on that.
And that was one of the topics, but there were 2 other ones too, Rodney.
Yeah, so we had, you mentioned the relationship between the principal and the PTA, developing a win-win relationship there. We also talked about what role can the school board play in fostering family engagement in the district, and then also, you know, what steps we can take to get the school more involved in the home and the home more involved in the school. So you had this win-win relationship, and both could talk about, you know, what can we do at the school level to make sure we are welcoming and inviting to our families and other stakeholders. And likewise, we know that we want our schools to be welcome partners into the homes as we work with parents and teachers and build this culture of academic excellence. And so we had conversations about how do you take that from something that's theoretical to practically begin to do that beyond what happens every day. Because we know it's out there every day, but we want to be able to see it systematic and something that we can champion and celebrate intentionally as we do this work.
And I thought it was great you had those 3 breakout sessions, and then you came back at the end and gave everyone an opportunity to kind of discuss at least one of the questions. And one of them, which I thought was interesting, is the perception out there too. You had someone report out to say that they only thought the board came just for photo ops, which, you know, we chuckled a little like, really? But that's true. It's important to know what the pulse and what the people are thinking out there in the community.
And I was going to say too that what I enjoyed about the meeting was that although the sessions were about 45 minutes apiece, we could have gone on and on and on because people didn't leave, and they had so many questions that they wanted to answer because it was just so casual. And then people felt comfortable asking the question, and the school board members, they felt comfortable giving the answers.
And because it was such a great turnout, let's tell our viewers, how can they get involved with the PTA?
They can come to a PTA meetings. We have general meetings every 3rd Monday of the month. We have a website, and I will give that website a little later. They can go to their school and go to the front office and ask for the PTA information. You can contact me personally. I can give you the information on how to get involved in the PTA. But every school has a PTA.
And they can also go to our website.
They can go to the website.
And
they can go
to the parents, I believe, and click on the
because
PTA.
there's a link.
And the next, this is like one of the steps, but what are the next proposed steps? Rodney, you kind of alluded to that later.
Well, you know, so monthly we meet, you know, Superintendent Dr. King's part of the discussion. I'm there as a liaison. You have all these great PTA leaders. And so we kind of are there to support and follow the lead and talk about how we can work together. But again, we have to report back to the community what we received and heard, and so we'll do that. Again, we'll come and talk at a future board work session about, you know, how we can continue this process. And then, you know, the Norfolk Council of PTA has so many events. You have reflections, they have other activities that are coming up. You have PTA Day that's coming up at the General Assembly. So any way that we can just be involved and engaged in the great work that they're already doing, I think helps to strengthen those relationships.
And I also wanted to say too that the general board meetings are not just for board members. They're for members and non-members. So anyone can come to the general meetings. And again, they're on the 3rd Monday of the month unless that Monday is a holiday.
Great. Thank you all for coming on the show, and we're definitely going to feature that meeting in our news portion here on NPS Now.
Thanks
so
for
thank you for
having
coming
us.
on the show.
Thank you.
Great.
Glad to be here.
Thank you. And we want to thank you for watching NPS Now. It airs weekly on WNPS, Channel 47, or you can watch us online at www.npsk12.com. If you have any good story ideas or information, you can email us at npsnews@npsk12.com. Again, thank you for watching NPS Now.